can move this now. So really excited to share with you EggTrace today. All being well, I've been able to move to the next slide. There we go. As Noella said, we've been very fortunate to be developing this application with Australian Eggs, and also the producers that very helpfully helped us with feedback and gave us lots of insights into what was required to go into the tool, and also additionally the project steering committee as well, who really gave a lot of great insights into the requirements and how the tool should work. So the tool itself is really focused on small egg producers who don't really have any traceability within their businesses at the current time. It's not a general farm management tool, and it's very much focused on the task at hand, which is really trying to monitor eggs from collection all the way through to sale, with the ability to run some simple reports on it, on the data for when it needs to, if the recall or whatever is required. The tool itself supports the objectives and the messaging of the traceability manual that Noella mentioned earlier, and it really is designed to work hand in hand with that manual. And again, much of the functionality in the tool really supports the actions and the activities of that manual. We've tried to make the tool as simple and easy to use as possible. Again, you know, very targeted feature set, and everything should be where you expect it to be. Perhaps most excitingly, it's a platform. It's designed as a platform that will be used to support future traceability initiatives. We've already had lots of great feedback and have got lots of great ideas about how to develop the tool over the coming months. And we see this as a tool that's going to be developed very frequently over the coming months, and you know, we'll go from strength to strength, hopefully, in terms of usefulness and value to industry. And then the final point just to make around the tool before I go into the demo is that from the request of the growers, the producer that we worked with, along with the project steering group, we've also designed the tool to keep all of the data that you enter on the device that you use to enter it, be that a mobile phone, tablet, or desktop computer. It doesn't share any data to a central server, and none of the data that you collect actually leaves your device. And I'll show you as part of the demo how you transfer data between devices. It has led to a few design challenges for us as we've developed the tool, but we think we've got a solution here that really works well. So without any further delay, let me share my screen with you. So this bit's always seamless. So hopefully everybody can see my screen now. So so this is the EggTrace application. When you first load the EggTrace application, you're presented with this start screen. The start screen gives you an overview of the various activities that you can perform in the tool. So you can perform a collection, so collect eggs from your sheds. You can grade eggs. You can transfer eggs within or between your farm or your suppliers. You can log sales of eggs, and then, as I said earlier, you can also run reports as well. The overview here gives you a total of the number of collections that you've performed whilst using the tool, the number of sessions, transfers, etc. So you can see at a glance the amount of data that you have in the tool, and also the period during which your collections, etc., have been made. As I said earlier, you're also able to synchronize your content. So you can download the content from one device and upload it into another device from here as well. So in terms of activity, collection, the shed, we'll put in test shed so we can see what we're doing. The production type, you can choose between caged all the way through to organic or other. The number of eggs collected, so we'll keep it easy, we'll stick with 1,000. Any floor eggs. And as you can see, it totals up the number of eggs that you've collected. We also have support in here to log waste, and then also some information around the birds in the shed, and also some of the environmental controls as well. So we can put in the flock age, whether or not we found any deceased birds when we made the collection, and then also keep a record of water consumption and feed consumption along with shed temperature. And again, these are data points that we've added to the tool at the request of those who trialed the tool for us. I should also say as well, when you're working through the tool, you can log product as eggs, or by the dozen or by trays as well. So depending on how you record eggs on your property, you should have been able to align that. We also, from a traceability perspective, we log the storage collection, storage location. So in this case, we're saying that we've collected these eggs and we've stored them in the cold store. And then we can also add any other notes in here as well. So if there's any other data points that you collect that aren't included as through the tool, you can collect those in here. So you know, we can even put something down like broken door handle, fixing something like that, and we can save those. Now I've got a lot in here, but basically when you save, it takes you through to the collection history, and from the collection history perspective, you can see all of the collections that you've made over time, and you can see trends in your collection numbers. You can see here, when I roll over these, it tells me the number of eggs that are available and the number of eggs that I've graded. So in terms of today, for example, I've just collected 1,100 eggs, and I haven't graded any of them. So you can see that pretty easily there. Again, from a feed intake perspective, water intake, shed temperature, we graph each of those so that you can see trends over time, and you can see trends between sheds, etc. as well. Go back again. You can see collection over time, and then you can also see a tabular view of everything that you've collected during your defined period. So you can filter depending on the period using these drop downs. You can also filter by shed as well. So we can have a look and see all of the eggs that have come out of one shed, and again, each of the graphs update to reflect that along with the listing of the eggs collected. Every page within the tool can also be printed as well. From a grading perspective, you can grade the eggs that you've collected. So you can record the grading date and time, who is responsible for the grading, along with selecting from the eggs that you've received. You can see here that that it's pulled through the collection that we've just made today, and I've got all of these test eggs in here as well. But you can remove any eggs that you don't want to include in the grading session. Again, the totals update, and it allows you to bring those eggs in. Now, importantly, from a traceability perspective, you can only grade the eggs that you've received onto the grading floor. So the tool won't let you grade more eggs than you have, and it reflects that in the total here as well. So if I go through and I pack some eggs, so I've got 1,100 eggs available to me. I can put in this gold, and we'll do 500, and can put in silver, and I'll add in spelt here as well, and I can add up what I have. So I've got a total of 500, add another 500, and I have 100 of those ones. Now this updates to tell me that my balance is 0 and that my grading session is balanced, and I can now save that. And I can also add the best before dates in here as well from the drop down. So if I put in some best before dates for these. If I've dropped any, or if any get broken during grading, I can record that in here as well. And any ungraded any eggs that I haven't graded. So up here, if I'm only grading 500, bringing 500 onto the grading floor, for example, I can say where I've taken those ungraded eggs to be stored as well. So if and obviously you can make any notes as well. So if I save this, it takes me through to the grading history page, and again I can see all of my grading history over time. So take it from June 9th there, and I can see how many eggs I've graded over time, how many have come off of my grading floor. Again, I can see how many eggs I've brought onto the grading floor from which shed and on what day, the production type. Also, we didn't cover that on the previous screen, but also if any of the eggs come from elsewhere as well, it logs the supplier of those. And then it also gives us the volumes graded as well, so the brands, grade and size. And again, you can print. In terms of transfers, transfers are logging movement eggs around your properties, so you can log the date on which the movement took place, the operator, so who made the transfer or who was responsible for it, the transfer type, we've got on farm, internal or off farm, so bringing eggs, transferring eggs onto your farm, moving them internally, so for example between a shed and cold store, and then also off farm as well. So if you're moving eggs to another supplier, or if you're making a delivery or something like that. You can choose where you're transferring from, you can choose where you're transferring them to, and you can also add a pallet identifier as well if needed. You can add as many line items as you need in here for that. Add any additional notes as well. And again, this page can be printed, and once you've, sorry, not this page, the transfer history can be printed, and this could also potentially be used as a pallet label as well, because it gives you the right information. In terms of sales, lots of people already use a sales package like MyOb or Zero, but a lot of the smaller producers that we spoke to didn't have that capability. So we've added a sales capability into the tool as well. And again, you can log the date of a sale, the customer to which the sale was made, any PO number that you might have received, the invoice number that you want to give to the customer, the value of the invoice, and then again, it allows you to add in the eggs that you've sold for this. And again, you can save that, and it gets logged into the sales history as well. The last area of the tool to talk about is the reporting section. At the moment, there's only one report within the tool, but we plan to add others over time as we receive feedback. But in terms of the recall report, if there are any issues with any of the product, you can put in a best before date for the product. So as an example here, I can put in state, what it does is it gives you an overview of all of the product that's been graded on what day, who it was graded by, the best before dates of the product, the brands that have gone out of the business, the quantities, and then you can also trace it back to the sheds as well. So these are the sheds that supplied these volumes of egg, and it does that for all of the grading sessions. There's a lot on this day because again, I've been using this to test, but that as a rocket through the tool is EggTrace. So we hope you like it. Let me stop sharing so that Ingrid can put the last screen up again. And if you just bump it, thank you. So you can access EggTrace from this URL. So eggtrace.australianeggs.org.au. Once you've accessed the tool, it will also work offline as well as online. It works on mobile, tablet, and also on desktop. And each time you go to the tool and you have an active internet connection, it'll also update to the latest version as well. Because as I say, we're going to be making quite a few updates, I'm sure, over the next few weeks and into the next couple of months. And if you've got any feedback on the tool whatsoever, we'd love to hear it. And the best email address to reach out to is Noella's. So noella.powell@australianeggs.org.au. Thank you very much.